According to Human Rights Watch, in March of 2021, over the course of just 3 months, Chinese inmate Xinhua Huasan, over the course of just 3 months, watched 9 of her fellow inmates in the Xinjiang prison province perish due to starvation, torture, and physical mutilation by the prison guards. They were there merely because of their religious affiliation as Muslim. And we can see clearly through this that the Xi Jinping administration has blatantly violated the human rights of Muslims who are living in China through forced detention. And it is because of this that today you're going to witness the weirdest extemp speech you've ever seen. Because in 1046 before Common Era, when they overthrew the Shang dynasty, the Shao dynasty declared that they had made a pact with the very heavens themselves. They declared it the mandate of heaven, declaring that the emperor of China would rule only so long as he maintained moral virtue. We can see clearly through this that as no message has come from the heavens declaring that the mandate has been cast aside, the mandate of heaven is still in effect, leading us, when we ask today's question, will China's treatment of Uyghurs eventually lead to an insurrection? With a yes, because Chinese President Xi Jinping has lost the mandate of heaven, which has begun to manifest itself in 3 critical ways. Firstly, the impending economic doom and early warning signs that China is currently experiencing. Then, how the assault from heaven has already begun in the form of natural disasters. And finally, how social unrest within China has been ramping up over the past couple of years and is beginning to reach a breaking point. Firstly, we must address that according to Bloomberg 1 day ago, China's economy is showing some early warning signs, especially in the manufacturing sector, as their net manufacturing index dropped over year by 1 point, from 50.1 to 49.1. This means that in the field of manufacturing, China's economy is actually experiencing a contraction, meaning that manufacturing, China's most important economic export, has begun to fall off. It's not just this, because when combined with the policies of the current Trump administration, which, according to CNN just today, has floated a final offer of a 60% tariff against China in conjunction with its proposed 100% tariff against BRICS nations, that China's economy, especially with regard to one of its largest importers in the manufacturing sector, the United States, is beginning to experience some early warning signs of economic destruction. It is for this reason that we see that the misfortune incurred by Xi Jinping's violation of the human rights of Muslims has begun to manifest itself in economic bad luck, especially as, according to Xinhua on January 20th, a translator of Chinese news, over the course of just 2024, natural disasters in China affected 96 million people and incurred in damages 66 billion US dollars of damages. That's 401.58 billion Chinese yuan. We see clearly through this that over the course of just the next couple of years, China's increase in economic and natural disaster-related misfortune, especially in the form of prairie fires, which increasingly affect China's rural population, earthquakes and geological disasters, which cause enormous troubles in the mountainous provinces, as well as the seaside cities of China, which produce enormous manufacturing exports, and weather-related disasters, which disproportionately affect China's farming rural population, that the mandate of heaven's violation has begun its assault on China in the form of increases in natural disasters. Finally, we must examine that according to the Wall Street Journal, just in November 24th of 2024, China has begun to experience significant unrest, as according to the same report, in In March of 2024, an economically dissatisfied Chinese man who was unsatisfied with his wages drove his car into a crowd of people, killing 35 and injuring a further 49. We see through this plainly that due to dissatisfaction among the Chinese population, due to economic dissatisfaction among the Chinese population, citizen unrest is beginning to rise. It's not just this, because according to the Houston Chronicle today, the legislature of the state of Texas is considering adopting a motion to ban Chinese citizens from obtaining land, a motion that the Trump administration is likely to adopt themselves. A motion that the Trump administration is likely to adopt themselves. Chinese citizens who are dissatisfied, especially those who have already been in the very lengthy process of immigrating to the United States for a very, very long time, are beginning to lose hope that they might eventually become US citizens, meaning that unsatisfied Chinese citizens might have nowhere else to go, and their years of progress might be wasted by the Xi Jinping administration, leading to increased unrest among the civilian population, especially those who are specifically angry with the United States, leading to ultimately the showcase of the violation of the mandate of heaven that Xi Jinping has incurred through civilian overturning of the government. So, when asking today's question, will China's treatment of Uyghurs eventually trigger an insurrection? We answer yes, because in his vile treatment of the Uyghur population, Xi Jinping has lost the mandate of heaven for these three reasons. Firstly, the economic destruction and peril that are being wrought upon it by heaven in the form of tariffs and lower manufacturing. Then, through the increase in natural disasters that have been caused by raining down from heaven itself. And finally, how increases in civilian dissatisfaction in China are beginning to lead to a significantly dissatisfied population that is likely to attack the government itself.